Hey guys, Wild Willie here, and welcome to episode number 10 of the Preppers Covered, last one of the series. So, once again, this series is designed for the novice or first-time or short-term self-reliant or prepper that wants to make sure themselves or their family are safe and secure and comfortable for a 72 to 96 hour period after an emergency or certain situation. Now, up until this point, like I spoke a little bit in my last video, we've covered the basics pretty good. We've covered cooking, different methods of cooking. We've covered lighting, how to use candles safely. We've covered water storage, how much water to have, how to test your water, different methods of that. We've covered power, different little bit of alternative power, lightly touched on that. We've covered communications, different forms of communication to deal with stuff. We've covered dealing with power outages. We've covered security and warmth, how to make things a little more secure in your home, not as far as precautionary measures, as far as, don't brag, don't show type thing, like we discussed in, I think it was episode number 7. We've covered medical stuff. We've covered a lot of stuff in this series, and I'm glad everyone's enjoyed it so far. Well, in number 8 we talked about why I prep and why should you prep. So we're going to follow off here. This will be issue number 10. This will be it for this series of the Preppers Covered, and after that, I don't know, maybe get back in a little more of the wilderness and bushcraft side of things for a little bit, or I might take this to the next level, do a series for the intermediate or more serious prepper. But anyways, I just want to finish off with food. Yeah, it's recommended food for your 72-hour kit. Have enough food for, X amount of days per person and whatnot. But really, you should be looking at what type of food you're going to have. And first of all, if you watch my series on the different cooking methods there and heating, the poor man's stove, or whether you're buying an indoor stove or whatever you're buying to use to heat or process food with. Yeah, it's nice to say you're going to have this and this in there. Personally, I can't live off frickin' ramen or ramen noodles. I would go crazy, or live off dried pasta or dried rice. They all involve water, and I mean, it's okay for me, but some people don't have the way to boil water or heat that stuff up. So we're going to cover the basics as far as just eating out of a can, guys. You want to have the ability to eat cold if you had to, not heat up or not add water. That's the most basic. And of course, a manual can opener. Anyone that's got an electric can opener might be screwed if the power goes out, but if you got a manual one, you're always good to go. You want to eat as comfortably as you can possibly afford, and you have the means to do so. There's a lot of canned ready-to-eat soups now, stuff like that you don't need to heat. You can pop the lid and eat. I mean, in the past, they were so loaded full of sodium and they were so loaded full of processed crap, it wasn't funny. But now they're getting a lot better as far as having your nutrients and everything else in one can. You just pop it, you can eat it. It might be cold, but at least it's nutrients. Canned vegetables are always a good one. You know what? They're not as good as a fresh vegetable, but they work just as good in a pinch. You want to have stuff that's ready to eat. You can go out and spend a lot of money on MREs, ready-to-eat meals, Backpackers pantry stuff, and a lot of Mountain Harvest stuff, and different meals that you just add water and you can eat. The problem is some of them are so processed and so full of sodium it isn't even funny. So you know what, and they're expensive too, especially if you have a large family. So I'm going to recommend planning the can way. Plan stuff you can eat out of the can that you don't have to heat up if you absolutely didn't have to. Canned pastas, canned soups, canned fruit, or fruit cups is another great one. As far as your juices and liquids go, if you're outside of water, if you're not going to buy juice crystals and stuff like that, there's a lot of juice Tetra Paks out there. Tetra Paks and just plastic bottles of juice. Yeah, a lot of them aren't the healthiest thing, but they'll get you through when you need to. And at the same time about that, don't sell yourself short. Have yourself your treats. If you're a crunchy, salty guy like me that likes his chips or his crackers, have stuff like that in your kits too. If you think you're going to live off granola bars for a few days, try eating granola bars just for one day, nothing but granola bars. No, you're going to get sick of them awfully quick. So have the basics in there, stuff you don't have to heat, you can open up out of the can and eat. Canned potatoes, stuff like that. There's all kinds of canned meats, which are really good. Canned chicken, canned turkey, tuna fish, stuff you can just pop and eat. Got a tuna fish in the meats, a lot of protein. and they don't taste horribly bad either. So plan your food way that way. You want to basically plan yourself for the, your 3 meals a day per family member for the 32 to 76 hours comfortable, but don't sell yourself short. Sneak that treat in too, especially if you have kids. It's a stressful enough time for everybody, and some sort of chocolate always seems to do the trick when everyone's in a bad mood or anything else because they can't watch TV or can't get on the computer, or you're dealing with a house full of screaming kids or a stressful husband or wife at the time. So yeah, don't forget to treat yourself, treat your family, but keep it to the basics. I mean, if you're going to get into the cooking aspect, like in one of my earlier videos, that's great. You know what? A hot meal is a lot better than a cold meal. And you got more, if you got the ability to heat stuff up, you got more range of selection of meals, obviously, too. Boiling water in itself can do a lot for making rice, for making pastas, instant mashed potatoes, a lot of instant meals, instant breakfasts, oatmeal, stuff like that. That's all great, but have the basics in there just in case, too. Stuff you can eat cold. Have a few treats for yourself and for the kids, and don't forget the pets too. Make sure you have a little bit of something special in there for them also, because they can sense when something's not right in the house as well as any human can. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this 10-part series. We covered a lot of the basics, and once again I say thank you for watching. And also, like I said earlier in one of my videos, if you find something or you want to know something as far as bushcraft, outdoors, home preparedness on the side of things, I will do my best to do a video on it, or give you what information I have. I don't know everything, but I know enough. So I'm going to sign off for now. I thank you very much for watching this 10-part series. And remember, it's not a question of if the shit hits the fan, it's a question of when. So always be prepared. Thanks. Take care.